Are you getting enough? That is the question for today's Nutrition A to Z challenge. Are you getting enough? Enough what? You may ask. Stick around. I'm going to answer that question in just a little bit. But first, if you are new here, my name is Arlene Timber Henry. Thank you for joining me on this channel where I talk about healthy eating and healthy lifestyle changes for women over 40. And this series is my Nutrition A to Z challenge in 26 days. We are on day 4. Thank you for joining me. And are you getting enough? Probably not. Enough vitamin D. Today is the letter D, and we're talking about vitamin D. Probably you're not getting enough. Vitamin D is a super vitamin that is produced by the skin in response to ultraviolet UV rays, which come from the sun. And it's problematic for a lot of people because we are not getting enough sunlight in order to produce enough vitamin D. So I read somewhere that it's considered a vitamin D insufficiency pandemic, even that so many people are vitamin D deficient. So let's talk about it because the world is probably easily divided into two groups of people who live in places where year round or for good portions of the year you're not getting enough sunlight, like you live in parts of the world where it rains a lot or it's cold and you're indoors a lot, or it's long winters. Some parts of the world even now as I speak are still getting many feet, inches and feet and over loads of snow. So you're not going to be getting a lot of direct sunlight. And then there are other people who live in warmer parts of the world where there is lots of sunshine, like me. And many of us are still vitamin D deficient. Why is that? Because we don't want to be in the sunlight directly. So a lot of people that I know, they talk to me and they say, how come you're in the sun? Because I'm in the sun. I'm in the sun for my intake of vitamin D comes from direct sunlight because I consciously take some of my walks and some of the activities that I do in the sun, and it doesn't have to be for a long time. 10 minutes is quite sufficient to get a good intake of natural vitamin D for your daily needs. But a lot of us don't want to be in the sun. So even if we live in places where there's sufficient sunlight on a year-round basis, we're still indoors. We're in our cars and we're in air-conditioned cars. We're in our houses and we're putting on the AC all the time. We're in our office spaces or places of business and we are out of the sun, and we tend to run away from the sun. But I want to encourage you, and this is the challenge. This is part of the challenge. Today's challenge is to encourage you first, perhaps to go and get yourself tested to see what your vitamin D levels are and to know whether or not you are in a safe level. And if not, to first, before you start to supplement with vitamin D, because over supplementation is also not good for vitamin D intake. So you don't need too much. So you don't need to be supplementing. We want to get it naturally. All of what we're doing in these days challenge every day is as much as possible trying to get those elements of the nutrition that we need for our bodies naturally, for wherever that comes from, without having to take it artificially through extra supplements or other types of ways. So first, I will encourage you, get yourself tested, see what your vitamin D level is, and then try to get some more direct sunlight exposure. Like I said, 10 minutes per day in the part of the day when the sun is not at its hottest. So sometime maybe between sunrise and say 10 a.m., depending on where you live. And after sometime later in the afternoon, after 3, after 4, when it's not as hot, would be a good time to get maybe just about 10 minutes. Possibly that's all you might need before you need to turn to supplementation. So that's today's challenge, because vitamin D is a very important vitamin for our overall health, especially bone health, but not only. It also affects our lungs, our brain, our heart, or all the other parts of our overall health. And so it's important for us to know that we are getting the right amount from the right source. I'm going to leave it there for today. And again, vitamin D, are you getting enough? That is today's challenge question. If you missed any of the other days of the challenge, A, B, and C, go back and look for those videos, and we will continue this challenge all the way to the letter Z. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.